Oh, we're glad to love rugby, so what you think of our XV? And that brings us on nicely. Scrum Cap 15.
First episode.
Episode 1. First and last. Highly likely
hopefully.
First and last. Yeah, hopefully.
Great style, by the way.
Yeah, that was a good intro.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that.
So, we'll do a pack, and then I want to show you a try.
But do you want to introduce the whole concept of the?
Yeah. So we're basically
generational podcast.
Generational podcast. So we're basically picking our different ultimate 15s with a different genre every episode. So we thought we'd go nice and easy and unintrusive. So Scrum Cap 15 for the first one.
Yeah, we got some more controversial. That's starting 15s to come later.
Yeah, season 2. Season 2, we might get into the nitty gritty.
That's for the Patreon.
Yeah, the Patreon episodes. But yeah, first one, Scrum Cap. So basically, you bring your team, I bring my team. We'll go player by player.
Yeah,
and then we'll argue who we think gets a spot, and we'll fill it into our little spreadsheet by here.
Yeah, and all you droves of listeners out there, you can feel free to have your own input as well.
Yeah, but it hasn't got to be just the best player in that position. If your argument is good enough, they get in. So whether it's for the memes, for a personal reason why you love them, obviously there's the fucking massive Welsh input on this as well.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the best. Yeah, it's your favourite.
Yeah, it's your favourite. Okay. Why you picked them? Okay. You could probably see that Sean's got a Wales flag on his head. Where have we just been?
We've just been to Wales, Italy. First 6 stations I've been to for about 9-10 years.
And summary of the game. That's enough, right?
It was disappointing. We've got Scotland. We've got Ireland, Scotland playing behind us. It's Super Saturday 2024.
So should we just get straight into it? And should we start at number 1? So that's a good place to start, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I know what you've got.
Right. Yeah, I think you do as well. We had a little confer beforehand. Do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
Matt Dunning.
Right. So there is reasoning behind Matt Dunning.
Okay, shall I give my reasoning first?
Yeah, you give your Matt reasoning.
My reasoning for Matt Dunning is that Dav mentioned him in just casually a few weeks ago, so he's sort of been in my head. But I struggled with the front row generally for the Scrum Cap 15, even though you'd expect it to be the easiest.
Well, I'm just putting this clip up now. This is the infamous drop goal from Super Rugby.
It's more of a cult choice.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
What was he was not supposed to kick this, but I think they were behind a certain amount of points, and they needed a try for a bonus point, and they had a penalty advantage, and then he decided to just absolutely whip one, and has just dropped the fucking goal from. Let's have a look. What? Yeah, going on 40 yards.
And everyone goes fucking mad with him afterwards.
Yeah, no one's up. Watch his second row here. Like, he blatantly wants to absolutely batter him. Watch this guy now.
But you can see there. Look at his face. He has a split second where he thinks he's absolutely nailed it, and then sudden realisation, panic, that everyone hates him.
But also, he always looked quite funny on a rugby field. He is like a funny looking. I love rugby players who aren't supposed to look like they do, and he was always a really funny looking rugby player.
Can I also just say though, I couldn't think of a single other loose heads wearing a Scrum Cap.
I've got one. I've put him a tight head, and I'm not sure if he's going to count. So we'll get to that and see. Okay.
Right. Name another loose head with a Scrum Cap. Can't do it.
No, and I've said this too. Thinking about these Scrum, everyone in my head had a Scrum Cap when I was trying to fucking think of these players. I was like, I thought Matt Sheridan. I thought he had a Scrum Cap. He didn't have a Scrum Cap. Yeah, exactly. I just lost my mind with people in my head. Loads of people had Scrum Caps, but they didn't. So there we are. Right, Matt Dunning, loose head prop. Right, hooker. You said I really struggle with hooker, and so I went for a little bit of a boring one, a little bit of a cap merchant. Always good. Yeah, always good against Wales. Rory Best.
Do you know what? I started with Giraldini for Italy.
Good shout.
But for lack of other options, surely if I had another month, I'd think of a couple of hookers who were really good in the Scrum Caps. But I also went for Rory Best as well.
So
Rory Best is one of those players, by the way, everyone spoke highly of him. I never really remember any games where I thought
He was always. I thought he was always good against Wales, which is weird.
I remember him getting selected on a few Lions tours.
Let's have a look. How many
really
caps did
badly
he have?
in the midweek games.
Yeah, 124 caps for Ireland.
Great guy, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you can't be bad with 124 caps for Ireland. 60 points as well. But Rhys Edmund, shout out Rhys. Carlo Festuccia, Italian hooker. He called.
Firstly, you never told me that you were getting shout outs from your friends.
You can shout them out if you want.
And secondly, that is who the fuck is that?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Worthless.
Big fan of the pod and future guest. Right.
Yeah, let's never listen to anything that he suggests again.
Right.
He or she.
He.
It's Reese, isn't it?
Tight head. Who's your other tight head? Right. Let me just give my reasoning first. I honestly could not think.
Tell me who yours is first.
No, because I've got two, and I went for the latter because I couldn't think of a tight head, and I went for Xander Ferguson. I was like, that's so boring. He's not even that fucking good. But then I thought, right, another bit of a meme one. Remember Matt Stevens for Bath in England? And he always used
the one who got banned for doing
coke. And he always used to look really funny as well with the scrum cap. You know that like really tight scrum cap, and he was renowned for scrum cap. So I went for Matt Stevens, Bath and England tight head. Again, tight head was.
And he fancied himself as a bit of a singer. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, what did he do?
He might. I don't think he did X Factor. He did something like that.
Yeah, he did. Oh my god.
But like doing like operatic.
Yeah.
Just.
So you're fucking arguing for me now. That's a good shout.
No, I'm not.
Matt Stevens for the singing.
Because I think I got Marcos Ayerza, played for Argentina and Leicester for a while.
Okay.
And I would argue for a tight end, if the scrummaging is...
How would you spell his name?
I think it's Ayerza.
There we go. Argentina.
And he was just a monster scrummager.
I remember him now.
I don't think he did much else, but if you've got a tight end dominating the scrum, then...
and you know when his Wikipedia...
then that's what you want, isn't it?
His Wikipedia picture is him with a Argentina scrum cap as well, so I like that a lot.
I like that. Quick trivia, who's in front of him in the picture?
That is Whitelock, is it?
Yeah, which one? Two Whitelocks.
I can't remember. You tell me.
Sam.
66 caps for Argentina. You know what? I'm going to give you that one.
Yeah, but he also did well for Leicester as well.
Let's give Matt Stevens a look though. I did love Matt Stevens, but look,
I would argue Matt Stevens has got a general face that's difficult to like.
And also, there he is, a picture with him. With
he played the Saracens, which is minus 5 points.
No, I'm sure he was more renowned for Bath though. He's a Bath boy, wasn't he? He was like.
Every picture we're looking at right now is in the Saracens kit.
120 caps for Bath, 13 caps for Saracens. Come on.
Really? Right. I'd take it all back. But still, I'd
look at that's not a bad little fucking career, man. Saracens, Sharks, Curry Cap, and then Sharks and Toulon. He obviously had a bit of only 40 caps for England, but
I think he got selected for one of the Lions tours, didn't he? And then he got done for coke.
Yeah, obviously legend then. Didn't get any caps for the Lions, but it is in his international career.
Can we go Ayerza, please?
Yeah, we'll go Ayerza. You win that one.
Fine.
Fair enough. Right.
Also, before we get on to second rows, I'm never that sure who is a 4 and who is a 5.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that. To be honest, second row is surely like the easiest fucking position on the pitch.
We'll see if we've got the same.
Right. Well, I went for, and I assume you're going to go for as one of them is Victor Matfield.
100%.
Probably the ultimate. I'm tempted as captain here as well. I'm tempted to call him as a captain as well of this Scrum Cap 15. He is the ultimate Scrum Cap.
And he's one of the most established. Like I've got Matfield in mind. He's like an obvious choice, but I don't know if he was ever a captain for any of the teams he played for.
Okay.
So it depends whether you're choosing captain on the basis of them being good captains when they're playing, or just the most obvious starter. Matfield and Backy's Botter, for me, is like the perfect combination of second rows. Yeah. It was brutal. We've got the word Matfield's really athletic, great at the line out. Probably did other things that I never noticed, and then Backy's Botter was just a horrible brute. Yeah,
I agree. I think that's probably as far as second row partnerships go, is like the ultimate second row partnership.
Best I've ever seen.
Fucking brutal.
Best I've ever seen. And I'm not saying that they're both the best second rows I've ever seen, but as in terms of a balance, between the two. They were iconic.
And also, he had like a South Africa scrum cap, like a proper South Africa scrum cap.
Oh, he loses points for me there.
Do you reckon?
A little bit.
Is that a bit cheesy?
The state of it. I'd rather he just kept it real with the scrum cap.
But he was fucking sick player, man. He was a sick player. How many caps do you reckon? Let's guess on caps.
Guess on caps.
Gotta be 10. Gotta be 10 plus. I reckon 100.
80. Between 80 and 90.
I'm going 100 plus. 100 plus for me. Where are we looking? South Africa tour 127 tests. I don't know what that means.
127.
Yeah, look, according to this, 21 to 2015, 2001 to 127. That's fucking up there. That's got to be top 10, hasn't it?
I'll throw it out there. Matt Field is the best line-out forward of all time.
Yeah,
line-out jumper.
Yeah, I'd agree. And Steeler used to nab everything.
Yeah,
absolutely
attack and defence.
Okay. Right, agreed. So
nice. That's an easy one.
I did have a second choice because I had. Oh no, that's fine. So number 5, right? I've gone for an Australian.
Have you gone for Sharp?
Yeah, Nathan Sharp. Like Nathan Sharp was one of those players who like was always around. You never really like rated him, and every now and again he'd have like a big game. And he'd be like, "Fucking hell, he's been around forever." Like what an actual sick player. Yeah. Tri Nations growing up. That is like an infamous. You knew Nathan Sharp would be there. You knew he'd have that blue scrum cap on. He's always getting you like a 6 to 7 out of 10. Right. So what is your shout on that second row?
It's Tad Burn.
Fucking hell. Okay. Still playing. Still.
And this is partly because
probably.
I like him as a player, but also I think he deserves it on merit as well. So I'm going to start off because I remember watching him in that season the Scarlets had when they won the Magnus or URC or whatever it was then, and he came out of nowhere, and he can do absolutely everything. He's a jackler, which is rare for a tall guy.
Yeah,
he's powerful. He's just a fucking baller. He's superb, and he's getting better and better.
Another blue scrum cap as well. Like loads of people just wear blue scrum caps, whatever the nation they're playing for. I don't really know why that's like a thing, but I guess it makes you stand out, doesn't it? So,
okay.
Another one I had on my list for second rows was, and you're going to hate this one, is
Danny
Grewcock. Only because, like, he was renowned for wearing a scrum cap. Like,
yeah, but he was also renowned for being nailed, wasn't he?
And didn't he won World Cup with England, didn't he?
He did, yeah. But I'm not sure if Ben Kay might be starting ahead of him.
Yeah, like, I think he was a squad sort of player, but he was like, yeah, he was.
Grewcock might have been starting, I'm just not actually sure.
Because it was Shaw as well, because Shaw used to wear scrum cap, didn't he?
No,
there we are.
Not normally.
But yeah.
Shaw was amazing. But I think Tad Burn is a better player than.
I think we'll go on merit here, and we'll go for Mr. Tad Burn. Also, looks like
just a quick mention that Scar. By the way, that Scarlets team, I think it was 16-17 season because it was just before that Lions saw to New Zealand. That's one of my favourite teams of all time.
Was what's his name? Pivac coach, yeah?
Pivac coach. They beat Leinster in the RDS in the semis.
Yeah.
They got a red card in before half time. Liam Williams was taking kicks. They beat Leinster comfortably, which was mad, and then they battered Munster in the end, in the final, playing some crazy rugby.
That pretty much got Pivac the Wales job, didn't it? I think so. We were going through a semi-transition. Then we thought if we get him in, we're going to turn into like this amazing running rugby team. And
I was so excited when Pivac came over as Wales coach,
but it never really worked. So there we are. But Tad Burn gets in. Right, 6. Right, okay. I've got a good one of 6. I'm not sure if you'd have thought of him. You go first on this one.
All right, I'm going. And I'm not sure if this is allowed, but I'm going to try it. I've got 2 7s pretty much for 6 and 7. And the 6, I've gone for Heinrich Brasseau.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'll promise you.
No, but I've also, in brackets, I've got Lions 2009.
Well, look, Heinrich Brasseau. It was, for me, right, it was that, remember...
I see what else you got, and that's a good call as well.
Who was that? They won, I'm sure they won Super Rugby one year, and Heinrich Brasseau was just immense. He was in the Cheetahs or something.
They did play for the Cheetahs, yeah. I don't think they won the whole thing.
I love someone who's like undersized or oversized. He was quite small. He was really small, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
so
small,
good
he
over
was
the ball.
powerful,
Yeah,
he was squat, wasn't he?
So good over the ball.
Maybe apart from Pocock, he's the best player I've ever seen, like over the ball.
Over the ball, yeah, definitely.
He just came out of nowhere, and then he was amazing for about 2
and then
years.
disappeared. Proper flash in the pan. Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know if we're allowed to just pick a player for a certain period of time, but that's what I've gone with.
I think the fact that we both picked him just means he has got to get in straight away.
And also for that for Heinrich Rousseau on that Lions tour, do you remember that? Him grabbing Martin Williams by off the floor and just carrying him like that on the neck, and he basically grabbed his collar and his shorts and just did that, like shook him on the floor.
Yeah, well,
like manhandled him.
He was like a super.
Shout out Martin Williams, by the way.
Super undersized sort of player, who just like played way above his weight.
No, he was just. I don't think he was undersized. He was short.
I'm sure. Yeah, he was short. Yeah.
I don't think he was that lightweight.
He won the Curry Cup twice. He won the Lions Tour.
Was it Cheetahs? Are you right? Was it Cheetahs?
Yeah, Free State Cheetahs. And then he won the Lions Tour, which he must have been involved in that. And then he won the Tri-Nations with the Springboks. But only 22 caps, so you're so right in saying like a proper
he came
flash in the pan.
Yeah.
And it looks like he had caps between 2008 and 11, and then came back in 2015 for maybe a couple of caps. But what a fucking player. Like, I used to love watching him play. He was just a pocket rocket, like a proper pocket rocket.
Yeah, it's like as soon as he clamped on the ball, it was over.
I did have another one, a 6. I had Monsieur Serge Betsen.
Yeah, although I think most of the time he didn't wear a scrum cap.
He didn't wear a scrum cap.
I think maybe later in his career he wore a scrum cap.
Look at that. What a fucking, like possibly the greatest tackler of all time. The greatest tackler of all time.
Again, talking about undersized, yeah, he was like, I guess tenacious is the word you use.
And he had
Although I tried to get a selfie with him on, I went with Anna to London for something, and the next morning, like hungover, seen him on a train station in London, and he was really rude.
Yeah, but you never know, do you? He might have been nice guys.
Minus points.
Minus points. But 63 caps for France. Possibly, I think, the original chop tackler. Just used to absolutely destroy people. I loved him. I used to absolutely love him.
He was light, wasn't he, for a back rower? He was probably 15 stone or something.
6 foot 15 stone, yeah. But yeah, what a fucking player he was. Right.
Yeah, awesome.
This is looking very light on Welsh players, so I think we may as well just agree on that.
It's a good time for 7 then, isn't it?
And I'm going to type it in before we even fucking agree. Mr. Justin Tipperick. Like,
my favourite player, I'm going to throw it out there, of all time.
I think it's the greatest talent Wales has probably ever produced.
Well, no.
I'm
not sure. I'm talking about my personal favourite. He's not the...
No, but as a rugby player, like the talent in him was as a rugby player, like a ball player, like there was nothing.
Shane is
but Shane was a finisher and he was fast.
And that's in our generation because we got recency bias. It's hard for us to judge on the 70s generation.
Tipperick could do everything. I always remember this argument of like, if you could name a team 1 to 15, we may do this in the future, of players who have to play every position. Yeah. Justin Tipperick would be that player because you could see at one point. I remember us saying,
struggling in the front row, wasn't he?
I remember Wales fans saying he should play in the centre. Can you remember when we were struggling with centres when Foxy was in? You're like, put Tipperick in.
Play like hook in the centre and stuff, yeah.
And like he could have played there. I reckon he could have got away with playing pretty much 6, 7, 8. Probably 12, 13, 14, 15.
Can you pull videos up? Can I, just one, can you put Tipperick Newcastle?
And like some of the tries he scored, chip and chases.
This is what I'm talking about. Tipperick Newcastle. And say no more.
Oh, this is the chip and chases. Oh no, this is the catch.
Look at the take in the first place. And he's gassing all their backs.
Wow.
And the thing is, because he was so skillful and so naturally talented, I think people underrated his ability to be, like
contact.
Like a brute of a flanker and at the breakdown. And he was good at that as well.
Yeah, but like, and I think
Wales tried real disappointment that they couldn't find a way to play him and Warburton together. You know, it worked out a couple of times.
The timing.
It's like the Lampard and Gerrard as well.
Yeah, well, it's like the timing, isn't it? Sometimes you have those like positions where they're both possibly the best players in the team, but they're playing the same.
Yeah, it's a bit like Raffle and Morgan now.
I think the main thing about Tipperick as well, in regard to this, is that blue scrum cap was so iconic that he used to just be tearing teams up. And like sometimes like internationals, they don't always play for their clubs. He used to play for the Ospreys every week and be fucking amazing, play for Wales every week. Then he came into like he was just always unbelievable. I would say he was always like an 8 out of 10. And that's so hard to do. And then he could be 10 out of 10 every other fucking week. He was that fucking good. Like,
and also my favourite game of all time, which is Wales-England 2013.
The offload,
setting up that Cuthbert try, and Eddie Butler's commentary as well, where he's just like, Tipperick.
Yeah, Eddie Butler won. Right, Tipperick.
Did you watch that with me in Gassies?
Yeah, Remember those like people like crowd surfing above us?
Yeah, and there were people. It was the manager's last weekend. Like maybe his last shift, so he'd stopped giving a shit. So people were literally pulling fluff out the sofas. It was the best non-stadium atmosphere I've ever experienced.
I miss those days. And Gassies is good because it's got like the stairs and it goes around, and like everywhere was full, wasn't it? It was like the pit was full. Everyone, I think we watched it upstairs. Did we watch it upstairs?
I think we watched the first half upstairs,
and then we down the stairs.
Yeah. People were spilling jugs on other people's heads. It was
chaos.
Absolute fucking dream scenario. What a day that was.
I will argue though, Justin Tipperick, one of the best talents Wales has ever produced.
Can I also say, because I mentioned we do this podcast to my brother earlier on.
Oh yeah, okay. Put it to the mic.
And I proposed my starting 15 to him in a WhatsApp message. He had his own thoughts on who should play 7, and I'll play that now.
I saw him run so fast once. He outpaced Jeff Wilson, Joe Olomu, Usain Bolt, and Linford Christie.
And who is he referring to?
Yeah, so he's referring to Olivia Mania, and I think he's specifically referring to his performance against New Zealand in the 99 World Cup semi, which is one of the best games of all time.
What's his first name?
Olivia Mania. I think he deserves an honourable mention. I've also, after Tipperick, M-A-G-N-E.
There he is, looking all his...
I've also got Marty Holler. After Tipperick as well.
Because he was Ospreys.
He was when Ospreys had Collins, bloody Holler, and Tia / Ryan Jones.
Yeah. I think we're definitely going to do a players who play for Welsh, random players who play for Welsh regions.
Yeah, regional.
He got to be a shoo-in. And look at him, yeah, there he is with his.
Because he's one of those where, if it wasn't for McCaw, he would have had.
Yeah, he was an immense talent. I think he was
caps.
quite small as well, wasn't he? Was he quite undersized for?
I don't know. I'm not looking at that photo. He's a fucking unit.
Yeah, he was a great player. Right, number 8. So my position, my favourite position. Yeah, right, yeah. I've got 2, and you probably know who my 2 are going to be.
Yeah, I know you've got Aldred.
No, I haven't got Aldry. No, I haven't got Aldry, and I haven't got. The 2 for me, right, are so the big one was obviously Ryan Jones. You know how much I love Ryan Jones.
I love Ryan Jones as well, yeah.
But
as in like pre-Gatlin Ryan Jones.
Yeah, before he went to second row.
Before Gatlin made him put on loads of weight.
Yeah, like when he down. But there was a player, 2005 captain of Wales, who was the most unorthodox Welsh rugby player.
If you're going to say Michael Owen, he wore a scrum cap like hardly ever.
He wore scrum cap every game. And
I don't know what he did.
Yeah, I did. And it looked really funny because I always remember, look at him. Oh. He always wore that really tight Gilbert scrum cap, and he always looked like a little bit of a nerd in it. But I used to absolutely love him.
Was he always scrum cap then?
Yeah, he wasn't, especially that 05 campaign.
Yeah,
he was scrum capped up. But do you know what I loved about him was he really didn't fit as a rugby player. He was like, he always run as a number 8, run upright, but his skill set was just so good. He put through the space, his feet were good, he used to offload, and he was a captain at the beginning of that Welsh run, wasn't he? You know, that 05 was the first one, he was a captain. And we went on our run then over the next sort of few years, and he was the captain. He sort of
he was around for 05 and then he wasn't.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, and that was it.
But he, just on the fact, like thinking about his skill set. Do you remember that game against England in 05 where it was all about Henson, obviously with Tate and Henson's big kick at the end? The only try we scored that game was Shane Williams in the corner. And Owen,
through that pass.
Floated past.
Yeah, and Shane did a weird dive into the corner.
He had a great skill set, yeah.
And he went on a Lions tour. He didn't get called out late. That was Ryan Jones. But yeah, I thought
he might have been captain for the midweek side.
Yeah, and I think he's definitely a massively underrated player in Wales sort of folklore. But I used to love him, and he always looked like a bit of a nerd with that scrum cap on. He was he was an unorthodox rugby player, wasn't he? For number 8, if he was around now, you would get munched all the time. He was always really upright.
Oh, there was nothing intimidating about him, was there? He was just.
But he got shit done, and the start of that run really 05. So yeah.
I'm just looking at my notes. What I've got against 8. So I've got Aldrit, who is just obviously a great player, but I've also gone, and I think I'm going to go with Caelan Doris, even though he has been around for long. I don't particularly enjoy watching him as a player, but he is
effective.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Island conveyor belt is mad as well because you think about Sean O'Brien and all those leaving and sort of who's next up in that back row. Sean O'Brien's a scrum cap. He's scrum cap as well. We could have thought about him.
I think he did cross my mind, but then it's Tipperick, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah,
if you put Sean O'Brien ahead of Tipperick, I would.
Oh no, he was but Sean O'Brien was a utility back row. But yeah, Doris has just come in and just been world class, and you forget about how hard it is to replace really world class players.
I think as Doris plays for Leinster and Ireland, and he's surrounded by world class players, I think it's easy to forget the influence that he has on the game. But he is. I mean, when Wales play against him, he makes yards so easily. He creates things. I think he's got a bit of leadership about him. I wouldn't count him out for Lions captain.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If the Lions came around tomorrow, he's number 8 without a fucking doubt, isn't he? He's there's no one else to put in there.
Mackenzie Martin.
The future. Right. I'd like to put Michael Owen in there just because I think Caelan Doris is still playing.
Wow. Are we going on who's better or personal preference?
Well, you're gonna have to give in on one. So, we just watched Wales lose. So I reckon we go Michael Owen. I got a control.
Juan Martin Hernandez.
Right.
You have got the control.
So that's our forwards then. I want to show you one little clip now. Because obviously, whose last game was it today?
Georgie North. So
I thought I would put a clip on because I think everyone seems to fucking forget that George North, in the height of his power, went to Northampton.
That was around the time his head was getting knocked about.
Yeah, but he went to Northampton, and I think people forget that he probably at his absolute peak of his powers, he was a Northampton player. And I remember watching this and thinking, he's playing against the Ospreys, and then he went and did this, just a little running 80-metre try.
No, I remember this.
An absolute again, we talk about some of the best talents Wales have produced. I think I saw on Twitter the other day that he's probably the best physical specimen Wales have ever produced.
Okay, while we're on that, I think there's a better, not less obvious George North try. Put George North Scotland.
Again, I do think he's one of our. He's obviously that golden generation, one of the best physical talents we've ever produced. Imagine a 6'4" fucking winger who can run like that.
I think there is something with George North that people thought he was going to be like Lamu when he started. And then there was that couple of great years for Wales and that Lions tour when he was obviously insanely good, and he hasn't quite lived up to that level.
I don't know if there's much more he can do. It's Lions tour winner, obviously did really well he obviously did well in all of his clubs. Want to get a beer?
Yeah, well, no, keep going.
Did well of all of his, like, two world, semi-finals. Like, there's not much more he could have done in that team. Like, if he was in New Zealand, for instance, he'd probably have a World Cup under his belt. He'd probably have numerous Tri-Nations. He'd probably be like World Player of the Year a couple of times.
I guess that you could argue he wouldn't have gone to New Zealand sides. I think young George North would have, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, like, what was that? Who was Ardy Sevilla? Is it not Ardy? His brother, Julian Sevilla. That was the kind of player, they come into fashion now. But like his longevity as well. I can't believe he's retiring at 31. I'm quite disappointed with that. But there we are. Right, let's get on to the backs. So that's quite a good pack. If we're thinking of a captain, I've got Matt Field in my head there. I think he's a leader.
No, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about Matt Field being captain.
Michael Owen.
Let's go 15 and then we'll decide captain.
Yeah. Right, scrum half. So, right, I properly struggled, and you gave me a little bit of a, I haven't even got him down. I haven't got anyone from 9. There was an Irish scrum half who used to come off the bench all the time who wore a scrum cap. He was the only one I found. I can't remember.
It wasn't like Guy Easterby or something like that, was it?
No. Oh, Guy Easterby. Oh, it was him.
It was Guy Easterby.
Yeah, he was a scrum half and wore a scrum cap.
Yeah, see, this is another one where it's like, for lack of other options, I'm going for Alessandro Troncon for Italy.
Fuck.
And again, I don't think he was that good, but he was more of a cult choice. Because I remember when Italy came to the Six Nations, it was him and Dominguez, was it, 10, who used to play the Stard.
Yeah.
Troncon was a bit of a...
He's going in.
Nails.
Well, he was their best player, probably.
He was like, for a scrum half, he was a bit of a brute as well, wasn't he?
Was he most cap player in the world for a while? I'm going to go plus 100 caps.
I don't think so. No,
definitely
it was Jason Leonard for ages around that time, wasn't it?
101 caps.
And then Gregan maybe before that.
101. Yeah, he was in my head, and I was saying it earlier, like I had in my head that like so many players wore scrum caps. Remember Ricky January for South Africa and Ruan Pina?
I do remember John, because he played for the Ospreys for a bit. He never wore scrum caps.
I know, but in my head, like they wore it. Okay, you win that one. I think we're going to agree on the 10 because there's probably 110.
Well, I've got another one. We've spoken about it, but the other 10 I put at 12.
Oh, okay.
From the same country.
Yeah. So Stephen Larkham.
I've gone Stephen Larkham. I've also put in brackets Sam Norton-Knight. Lol.
But he was actually so bad. He used to play fullback for Cardiff. He didn't even get in at 10.
When we bought him, he was a fullback for Waratahs.
And we played him 10.
And we, for some reason, played him at 10. And then we bought the Scottish guy who wasn't actually Scottish.
Dan Parks. Did he wear a scrum cap? He didn't wear a scrum cap.
No. That was a... I know we're even worse. We're even worse from a Cardiff fan point of view. We were better then than we are now, but that phase felt more depressing because at least now we've got loads of young Welsh boys who are going to be class. They're going to be class.
They are going to be class.
They are going to be class.
Mackenzie Martin. Stephen
Alex
Larkham.
Mann.
Alex Mann.
Cam winners. Cam winners. Cam winners.
We can let this podcast turn into a Cardiff.
We can let this podcast. We can win it.
Back to Stephen Larkham. I remember I was watching a Tri-Nations game, and this was the most long-winded way of saying that Larkham was the second best 10 in the world. But the commentator, who's that commentator? He writes for The Guardian as well. He's the English one. Everyone, we all hate him.
It's not The Guardian. It's Stephen Jones from The Times.
No, he's a commentator as well. But he said if the world was playing against Mars tomorrow and Dan Carter was injured, Stephen Larkham would be playing 10. And I was like, that is the most long-winded way of saying Stephen Larkham is the second best 10 in the world after Dan Carter. And I remember looking at Larkham then in a different way and I was like, fucking hell, he is good. And he is always there. He's always around, scoring points.
Larkham was awesome.
Making teams tick. Like, he was fucking great, man.
He looked like, from style points perspective, he was like quite a lanky 10 with a scrum cap, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
But he used to make things happen around him. He's awesome.
102 caps as well. 135 points. Like,
going Troncon Larkham, is it?
Troncon Larkham is a mad halfbacks. Troncon's definitely bringing up the hardness of the halfbacks up.
Yeah.
Balancing it out. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay,
like
nice.
him. Right, should we go centres first, then do back three at the end? I think we'll do centres first.
Yeah, should we do both centres together each?
Yeah, go on.
Because it's partly about a combo.
Yeah, do your centres.
Okay. So I mentioned it earlier about someone I could have played at 10 with a scrum cap. I've got Matt Gitto. I initially went Sam Tuipulotu when I couldn't think of any other centres.
Does he wear a scrum cap all the time now?
Oh, Tuipulotu was like no scrum cap. Yeah, he was dirty, fucking hard runner.
Oh, we're not talking about Scotland 12. We're talking about...
No. I think he may have had like a couple of New Zealand caps, and then he plays in Europe for a while. No, I've got Matt Gitto. Matt Gitto is... I put him in my top 10 favourite players of all time.
Yeah, I love him.
I think he pretty much... You know, there was maybe about 10 years ago, there was like a fashion for having like a playmaking 12.
Yeah.
I think he was maybe the first person to do that.
Well,
maybe. I'm not 100% on that.
Undersized as well. Like, he always used to look quite small playing, but he was just so inventive. Like, because they
talk about someone playing flat to the line, and then finding the right pass,
and like that they had like that little like that back line with like Drew Mitchell and Adam Ashley Cooper as well. Like, they had like a really good back line back then, didn't they? They were really like, you know, the other two weren't that inventive, but they were really effective. And Matt Gitto was just like, and he went to Toulon, didn't he? And
he's apparently retired and he's gone back to some USA
side
now. He's got 40 or 41.
It was like the LA Giltins or whatever.
Giltinis.
Yeah.
But there was a phase when we were probably in like peak Gatland and we were beating South Africa quite a lot at home. And we still couldn't beat Australia because they would just play some mad attacking stuff we couldn't deal with. And Gitto and Genya were...
No, who was the other one as well? Fullback. Who used to tear us apart all the time.
Curtly Beale.
Oh, yeah. But Australia, man, they used to produce the best... Well, they still produce amazing backs, don't they? To be fair. Still produce amazing backs.
Yeah, if we ignore the last World Cup, they do.
Yeah. But, you know, they even dropped players like Cooper out of that squad, didn't they? Matt Gitto, let's have a look at his career.
I got Matt Gitto 12, yeah.
So, Toulon... Well, this can't be in order. He didn't start at Toulon, did he?
I don't know which Australian.
You got Brumbies, Western Force.
Yeah, Western Force.
Then Brumbies again. Then he moved over to Europe, to Toulon. Then he went to Japan, played some games here, LA Keltins. And I was at a San Diego Legion, apparently.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'll be honest, Sean. We'll get him in because he was my exact 12 as well.
Good.
Well, I think maybe another one up for captain there, Matt Gitto. I think he's a bit of a leader, wasn't he? So love watching him play.
I'm not sure. Let's look at the captain once we've picked a 15.
Yeah. Right, you're 13.
John Fox Davis.
Oh yeah,
same
as me then. Same as me.
I mean, I don't think it needs much discussion, but 2017 Lions, John Fox Davis. This is like a basic observation, but no one was better than him at that position.
Bang.
And offend, yeah.
Like he had an unreal. This is 18 seconds of him. Who was I defended him?
Let's think about
look at no offence. Johnny Sexton.
Mad. Let's think about the current Wales context, right? Where we're not doing very well and everyone is on top of him for ages. I don't know if you remember, for years, or for a couple of years at least, people were saying John Davis wasn't good enough because of his skill set.
Yeah.
He had time in the position.
Yeah.
He scored lots of tries, defensively really solid.
Well, you've got to remember as well,
that fend is
Gatland
ridiculous.
Made the biggest call possibly of his career when he kept Brian O'Driscoll out of that Lions third test.
Yeah.
And he put John Davis in, and then John Davis completely validated that by not just winning that test, but then going on to win, however many caps for Wales, however many games.
Look at this offload as well. He was vindicated. And it was not to say, we battered Australia that game anyway. Like, if O'Driscoll was starting, I'm sure we still would have. But, yeah, Jonathan Davis, I think he was one of our real world-class players for a bit in the Gatland. Yeah,
it was a shame that he fell off so rapidly. And I guess, rugby does that to people, playing that much rugby. I love that. Do you see that hand up then? He literally just buoys this guy. But here, watch this one. Didn't even look like he tried.
That gas as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was so squat that he looked like he might be a bit, I don't know, heavy-footed or whatever the expression is. But
I tell you, who hated him, Ireland. Because remember, Ireland beat him. He beat Ireland in that quarter final when George North did Six Nations when North offloaded to him, and then that quarter final when Mike Phillips scored. He scored with a handoff as well in that one. It was
2011 World Cup. He scored. It was pretty much him on his own, and then the next Six Nations when George North did that
pass. Yeah, who was he? He went for that centre, McCluskey.
No, it was Fergus McFadden.
He never
normally played on the wing.
Yeah,
but he handed him off so hard that Fergus McFadden went upwards before he fell. Yeah, great player, and I think again another one of those. That was George North hand off.
Yeah, and then he offloaded out. Yeah. Again, back to George North. Fucking hell, what a talent! But yeah, Jonathan Davies is one of those players who, in the pomp of our Wales team, he was, him and Jamie Roberts were just, fucking stoppable at times.
And he's also, I think, unfortunately, a really good example of the sort of player you don't appreciate while he's there.
Yeah. Well, 13 is one of them positions which you really struggle to replace when they go.
Yeah, it's such a hard position to play. It's like tight end, isn't it? It's like.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I think a 13 has the most space to cover defensively.
And I'm sorry, that centre partnership of Matt Gittow and John Davis is filth.
Yeah, that's looking really good, isn't it?
Filth. Right.
Really, yeah, that's really good.
Wingers. Okay, so I go first on this one, and I wanted to go.
Go both wingers.
Right. So I was thinking of going Cheslin Colby because of everything Cheslin Colby has achieved. Blah blah blah. But I feel like there was a little original just before him.
You're going to go Gio Aplon.
Gio Aplon.
Oh, nice.
And the reason is, when you talk about fucking blockbuster players, he was... You talk about undersized... he was unfucking believable. And every time he had the ball, you're really excited to watch it. I used to love watching Gio Aplon play. I was like, how is he getting away with playing international top flight rugby at the size he is? But he was absolutely electric, and I thought just before before he came in, it was all about Gio Aplon. So yeah, I've chosen him again.
Is that because you think he's better than Colby, or because just for style points?
Yeah, style points, and because obviously I like him with that white scrum cap, a fucking flying through that whippet of that white scrum cap. I thought
So Aplon's a good chap.
My other winger, I've got two down here, right? So this one's a utility back, but I wanted to get him in there. Maybe not because he's the best player in the world, but he was scrum cap renowned. And that is Bruce Rehana. When I was watching him play for Northampton, remember a couple of seasons?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, when they had Brian Mujati and all that.
Yeah, they had a great team, and he was.
Yeah.
They had a great team. Bruce Rehana was a very special player. He played, what I loved about him was he played everywhere. He played 12, 13, 14, 15, 11. He was
quite solid though, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, really solid. But 230...
wasn't very exciting to watch.
Oh, he was. He was 236 games for Northampton. He was a legend there. He played he had 3 caps in New Zealand as well. Played a bit for the Maoris. So I had him. I also had Tom James in there because
I forgot about Tom James.
Tom James.
Oh, I fucking pulled the try against Leicester up in the 2008 semi-final.
He had a mad...
The commentary as well is iconic. It's James, he's going for the corner!
Oh, look, he sets up extra time as well.
Yeah.
It's James! Inside, he's shooting! Oh, he's got it outside! James! He's going for the corner!
Yeah, the thing is, I know how it ends, so...
Jamie Roberts is bringing the Blues back into it. And what a finish from Tom James. Richard Cockrell cannot believe it. It is pure Welsh magic. The last kick mattered for Blair. What about this one?
Curtly Aaron, sir. But after watching that, fuck Curtly Aaron, sir. Let's go Tom James.
Well, I'll have Tom James on one wing. We like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Definitely the weak link in that team, I must say.
Bullshit.
And who was your other winger? Aronson. Who the fuck is Curtly Aronson?
It's got to be Cheslin Colby. Curtly Aronson's the other winger for South Africa. This last World Cup.
Yeah. Do you know who I'm also thinking of? Is that new French guy, that new young.
Oh, Pierre Barry.
Yeah, like he's definitely going to be there, but he's like not proved it yet.
Yeah, it's too early. He's rapid.
Who did you say?
What about Villiers as well? From France.
Was that the one who started in the World Cup or?
No, just before the World Cup when they won the Grand Slam a couple of years before, and he's like a proper.
So who's the other wing?
Dog. Tom James. Oh, Cheslin Colby.
Yeah, let me get the spelling. Also, maybe we just show the Cheslin Colby try versus England in the World Cup final because that was.
Yeah, it's an obvious shout, but you would do it. Do you remember Colby when he was playing for Toulouse? And how good he was, and he played 10 at one point. When I think it was like a random game where they had loads of injuries. He played outside half, got a drop goal, was kicking conversions and penalties from like the touch line. He's a great player.
But this try to obviously wrap that World Cup up was absolutely like one-on-one with obviously Owen Farrell as well, and like
the fact he stepped Farrell as well is bonus.
Unbelievable player, probably one of the best wingers on the planet.
Oh, a great World Cup that was.
Right, finally, fullback. I assume we've gone the same person.
Yeah, I feel boring.
Yeah, I feel boring as well.
I've got an alternative. Oh, you could have gone Apple on fullback.
Lee Halfpenny, what he did for Wales, what he achieved for Wales. I know what you're going to say. They sort of coached the fun out of him a little bit, but they almost coached into him being one of the most effective fullbacks on the planet, and for probably five years he was the most effective player on the fucking planet. And,
effective defensively, yeah.
Well, no, like under the high ball and kick into goal as well. Like, you know, his
kick was amazing. I think one thing with Halfpenny, I probably don't give him the credit he deserves normally, because he was always against Liam Williams, and Liam Williams is always one of my favourite players.
Yeah.
But then you hear like accounts from players from other countries saying like Halfpenny was, you get a good kick in and he just suddenly appear because of his positioning.
He's
the 2013 Lions, he was he playing with the tour?
He played with the tour, yeah. John Davis was the one before as well, wasn't he?
No, John Davis was one after New Zealand.
One after, yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure Halfpenny has got played Six Nations.
Yeah.
Once or maybe twice, but definitely at least once.
Yeah, he definitely goes in. What about a captain? Can we pick a captain out of this team?
So we agree on Halfpenny.
Oh, 100%. No one else gets in.
Seems like a good guy as well.
Yeah.
Bonus.
Right, so... so we need to pick captain.
Best or Matfield, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Michael Owen was 2005 Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Grand Slam man, wasn't he?
I've had Victor in my head the whole time, but I feel like for the memes, we have to go Michael Owen.
John Schmidt was always captain when they were playing those, wasn't he?
Yeah. So we'll go Michael Owen then? Fuck Roy.
If a Welsh person's in any of our 15s, they're captain.
Yeah, they're captain, yeah. So I was thinking that team. That team is lethal. Centres, I love. Tom James snuck in there. Fair play to him.
Yeah, I fucking love the fact Tom James in there.
Tronc on Larkham, half-backs. That's a high.
Tronc on Larkham. Tronc on Larkham. Tronc on Larkham. Tronc on Larkham. Tronc on Larkham.
Interlude. And also, I love the Heinrich Rousseau was both of us, but that's not bad. That's not bad.
And you were also slightly annoyed that I went for a Heinrich Rousseau. Yeah,
I thought I was going to prop him.
Yeah, I thought I'd really pull one out of the bag.
Yeah, and we were both going to go. Oh, that's a sick shout. Right.
That is a full-on hipster rugby shout, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Right. Tell us the next one you want, because there's a million of these in the bank, in there.
Next what?
Next 15 we want to pick.
Oh, can we go Handsome 15?
Handsome. What about? I was thinking.
Well, get the list out. Didn't you?
No, yeah, I've got a list of them actually. Yeah,
I can't remember what they all were.
We got some actual classics in there, which we definitely want to do. Obscure nationalities. That's quite a good one.
Yeah, but you still need to define what an obscure nationality is.
Tell you what I like. Oversized 15. I quite like that.
Guys, Why don't you let us know what you think our next
tell us.
next selection should be?
Wales Rugby Region Imports. We need to get Andrew Ford in for the Cardiff Ultimate 15
Fine.
as well, don't we?
Biggest celebs?
Yeah, like players who ended like Cipriani and Henson. Players who turned up as celebs. Most hated, most loved. Players who've only got 100 caps. Team of 100 cappers.
Can we go style points? It's not there.
Yeah, style points. I like that. Joe Applon's already in there. Maybe
What, for wingers? What, don't have scrum caps? Dave Campese?
Yeah, that offload. That World Cup offload. Anyway, that's for the future. Thank you.
Oh, we bloody love rugby. So what you think of this XV?